Cowboys lose, Kevin, because I'm not suggesting they're going to lose, but because they didn't take this game seriously enough. I don't know if you noticed, Kevin, but Washington last week was more competitive in the first half than people give it credit for.
No, they weren't, Mike McCarthy. And I saw you guys post that and me rolling my eyes. I was like, that's fine.
That game, like, here's the thing, though. This is one of those, like, moments where Bill Parcells would start hanging up mouse traps and cheese and stuff all over the locker room because you got 2 wins in a row with your backup quarterback, and you're feeling pretty good about yourself. What else are you willing to give now this week that leads you into, you know what, I'm going to be better, even better this week, rather than taking a step back and being like, all right, we're good now. Like, that's where the Cowboys always get into this situation that I feel like, okay, we got the media off our backs now. We got the fans off our backs. Everybody's happy. Let's just go do our, let's go up there and it's Washington. It's going to be nothing, and I know it's here, but let's just go out there and it's no big deal. And so that's where I think the Cowboys, if they get, I don't think that this team, that Washington is good enough to beat the Cowboys. I don't think they have the talent. I don't think they have the coaching. I don't think they have the organization to beat this Cowboys team at this moment. But if the Cowboys don't put their effort into it appropriately, that's how they lose this game. I could go through and try and find some detail that Washington is really good at this and they're going to beat the Cowboys at this. But I think it's more about the mentality of the way the Cowboys approach this game. If they approach it like it's Washington, it's no big deal. I think it's going to be a suffering in the first half, and they're going to have a wake-up call at halftime.
From the 214, Cowboys win because Washington is mentally broken. From another 214, Cowboys win because Dak is not playing.
Dang.
Yikes.
Dang.
Mike, where do you fall on that?
Cowboys win because everybody says I'm an optimist, and I feel like I want to go with Cowboys win because first instead of Cowboys lose because.
I like it.
Cowboys win because their defense is arguably the best in the NFL. There's other great defenses. So, like Tampa to start the year. Tampa is right in the category of are they the best defense in the NFL? I think the Cowboys are there too. And so the Cowboys just create turnovers and sacks and 3-and-outs, and they just suffocate Washington's offense. And Washington getting a first down is like getting a touchdown. By the time we get midway through the second quarter, I don't know if Washington's going to have more than 2 first downs.
Okay. Oh, wow.
That's Cowboys win because the defense suffocates Washington's
I love that
offense.
That sounds slow and painful for them as well. All right.
Like that? You like slow and painful, Kevin?
For defeating sports enemies, sometimes. Sometimes I do.
Cowboys lose because? What kind of question is that, Kevin? I mean, what kind of person are you?
It's not the first time we've done this segment.
I want to change my answer to that answer right there, Mike. That was a good answer. They're
playing the Washington Commanders football team, Red Guys. Okay?
Oh, my God.
They're not going to lose.
Okay.
It's impossible to lose to Washington.
Impossible?
Impossible.
You cannot
imagine. Name me a team that's lost to Washington this year.
Didn't Jacksonville lose to Washington?
Shut your mouth right now. Okay.
Right.
How the hell did Jacksonville lose that game? They should be undefeated.
Makes 0 sense.
Carson Wentz is pathetic.
Okay.
Here, can I throw my Cowboys win out there?
Real quick.
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm going to ask you this question,
Ask
Corey.
me.
Is Carson Wentz better than Daniel Jones? And if he is, what is he better at?
I do think he has a better arm than Daniel Jones.
All right. They both have arms.
Yeah, they both do have arms. You asked what he's better at. I think he throws a better ball.
All right.
When it comes to in between the ears, they're equal. They
I
both have
Daniel
problems.
Jones a little bit of a
Carson Wentz is ruined, right? Like 2018
it feels
ruined
like
him.
it.
I think Daniel Jones is ruined too. I don't think he's ever been taught appropriately how to read what he sees in front of him and trust it.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem they have. My Cowboys win because
give it.
Cowboys running game is a monster on Sunday. Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, maybe he doesn't break off another 27-yarder. But I think that he and Tony Pollard, that combination,
do you think it's
runs wild.
Split
175 yards,
evenly?
same kind of situation.
Okay.
175 yards with the same kind of moment.
Okay.
And if it's any better than that, it's because Tony Pollard actually snaps a couple of them.
All right. I feel like I'd be pretty I'd be pretty stoked.
How you feeling right now,
about this.
You excited?
I mean, I'm very excited. I am sad because some person, here we go, from the 817 texted in, Cowboys will lose because Kevin and RJ argued. I certainly hope that does not happen.
Do we need to play that argument right now? Do we have that?
I don't know if that is
Reggie said he doesn't have it yet.
Okay. From the 806, maybe at some point, I don't know if I want to hear that again before 2:30. Cowboys, but yes, I'm aware that could happen. Cowboys win because they get after Wentz and pressure him all day long. Cowboys lose because Rush turns into a pumpkin and turns it over a couple of times. And you keep kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. You know, I found something specifically for you, Mike, because we talked about down the stretch. You said, like, Dak couldn't have played any better down the stretch. And we kind of argued about then Cooper Rush in the fourth quarter. Okay.
Right. There's nothing like Cooper Rush played great at 13-6. Yes. Then he played great.
To your point, all right, why has Cooper Rush been successful in his first 3 starts? Here are his fourth quarters in those games. 23 of 34 for 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a passer rating of 108.6. So when the pressure is on, he either does, moves the ball himself or helps move the offense down the field. So he has played very well, especially for a backup in the fourth quarter. Now, my Cowboys win because the defense feasts on a turnover-prone quarterback. You clearly see a theme here. Carson Wentz, and that's the thing that I thought was ridiculous. I hope he's just saying this to the media, and internally he's like, I'm definitely worried. Ron Rivera said he's not worried about Carson Wentz and said he'll bounce right back. He should be worried.
Man, do you want him to say that too, though, if you're Carson Wentz and the rest? Like, if you're the rest of the team, would you be more like, okay, I trust this guy if he came out and went, I am concerned about our quarterback right now, and this team has to play better for him.
Don't come out and say that. But internally, I hope they're like, hey, we can't turn over the ball like that. And hey, offensive line, you can't be giving up that kind of pressure. Or guess what? And I would point right at Carson Wentz and be like, he's going to turn the ball over.
Have you seen what this guy does?
Yeah, so you guys have to work together.
That was a thing that Choppy said last week, and then we brought it back to the conversation, was Daniel Jones is the type of quarterback that will put one up. You don't have to force it. Like, you don't have to jump on routes and do risky things because Daniel Jones will give you those opportunities. Lo and behold, at the end of the game, because Diggs did have a moment where he tried, right? He tried to jump a route, and
I thought it was going to be a pick six.
I have no clue how he missed it.
Yeah.
Like, I still, to this day, I have no clue how it went, like he missed that shot. But then he gets it at the end of the game. They didn't push it. They didn't try to intercept every pass. We've seen games where the secondary is hunting. We've seen those moments where the secondary is like, we're going to get so many balls in the air today. And Sunday might be that kind of day for the Cowboys. But I don't think that with Carson Wentz that they have to push that either, because at some point it's going to happen either way. I think less interceptions, though, more forced fumbles is what I anticipate out of this game. I would anticipate your defensive line, your defensive front that y'all are talking about, make something happen behind the line of scrimmage.
And because that's the way the segment goes, I did Cowboys lose because
what are you doing?
Good Carson Wentz plays the whole game. He gets McLaurin involved early, and
when was the last time that happened?
And Porzingis is playing 82 games.
I had to come up with something. And McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, or even Jahan Dotson attack Anthony Brown effectively. Because we talked about that last week, is he has given up a high number of completions. Now, he hasn't gotten like perpetually torched or anything like that, but those are the only ways I could see them kind of breaking through. But I feel good about this game as well, and I see that a lot of people do. And then somebody threw this bomb into the conversation, which 100% I disagree with this from the 609. One thing for sure, Carson is way better than Dak, and it's not even close. Well, I mean, that is
2017.
Yeah, that's absurd. Like,
it's horrible.
If you were to say Carson Wentz was better than Dak, I hope you would say it's by the razor thinnest of margins. But I don't feel that way at all. I think Dak is absolutely better than Carson Wentz.
Is this like Captain America where he got frozen in 2017 and just woke up today?
And I'd be willing to bet just about every team in the league, if not every team, will tell you that Dak is better.
This is the last time Carson Wentz starts as a starting quarterback in the NFL. He finally runs out of chances.
Or at least as a planned starter, right? Like he'll stick around somewhere and maybe get an injury start.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is it. Dude, you need to watch this guy play football. It ain't good. I don't know. I don't know how he lost his confidence so much. I mean, it's kind of a question to kind of psychologists and therapists and stuff. How can you, at the highest level of a profession, the very highest level, Carson Wentz was arguably the best quarterback in the NFL in 2017. He hurt his knee. He didn't hurt his head. He didn't hurt his arm. And his knee recovered. Like, it completely recovered for the most part. And then he went to being just a bad quarterback. Not like average. He went from top 5 quarterback in the NFL in 2017, arguably the best in that one season until he hurt his knee against Pittsburgh, to now we rank him as arguably one of the 5 worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
Jesse, the Bengals guy, texted in and said, I'm going to laugh so hard Monday when you guys have to talk about how the Cowboys lost this game. Look, we already beat the Bengals, Jesse. Like, we appreciate the fact that you're a Bengals fan.
Once your team gets above 500, come back at me.
Oh, crap. Who do they play next week? It better be a tough
That's just good old-fashioned ribbon right there.
You could just get back with me next week.
Good old-fashioned.
the Cowboys could lose. It's the NFL. Anything happens. You can have letdown weeks. You can just have horrible games. And I know the Cowboys can kill themselves in ways of penalties, and it just seems like they're very conservative with the ball right now in a good way. They're not going to turn it over. And as long as the Cowboys don't give Carson Wentz short fields, I just don't know against this defense how they drive the ball 70 yards.